The history of Labor Day in Trinidad and Tobago. Tubal Uriah Buzz Butler was born in Bluggo Cottage, Georgetown, Grenada on January 21, 1897. He served in the British West India Regiment in Egypt and Palestine. On his return from World War I, he formed the Grenada Representative Government Movement and the Grenada Union of Returned Soldiers. In 1921, Butler moved to Trinidad attracted by the flourishing oil industry. He worked as a pipe fitter at the Rudal oil fields. In 1929, he sustained an injury in the oil fields which left him with a permanent limp. From 1922 to 1931, Butler became actively involved in the Moravian Baptist Church, and by 1931 he became the church's chief pastor. In 1935, Butler joined Captain Arthur Andrew Cipriani's Trinidad Labour Party, TLP, formerly called the Trinidad Working Men's Association, TWA. In March, he led a hunger march from the Apex oil belt to Port of Spain for higher wages and improved working conditions. This marked the beginning of Butler's emergence as a working-class leader. In 1936, Butler left the TLP and formed his own party, the British Empire Workers' and Citizens' Home Rule Party. In 1937, he organized a sit-down strike which proved to be the catalyst for future labor movements. The turning point of the oilfield workers' riot began when police attempted to arrest Butler while addressing a meeting on the evening of June 19. Oilfield workers clashed with police officials, which resulted in a bloody battle. 14 people were killed, 59 wounded and hundreds arrested. Among the casualties and injuries were several police officers, notably Police Sub-Inspector William S. Bradburn, who was shot, and Corporal Charlie King. Corporal Charlie King, in his attempt to arrest Butler, was chased and thrown from a shop window. He broke his leg when he landed and lay immobile on the ground as the mob poured paraffin on him and lit him on fire at Faizabad Junction. This junction is now known as Charlie King Junction. On September 9, Butler surrendered. He was tried and freed on the charges of sedition but was jailed for 2 years for inciting a riot. He was released from jail in May 1939, but in November of that same year, Butler was rearrested and detained as a security risk under the defense regulations of World War II. He spent 6 years, the duration of the war, in detention on Nelson Island and was not released until the war was officially over in 1945. On his release from jail, Butler intensified his efforts for home rule and social justice. In 1946, Butler called a general strike, and in 1947, Butler and a group of his followers gathered in Port of Spain and stormed the Red House. As a result, Butler was expelled from the Oilfield Workers' Trade Union. In 1950, the Butler Party won a seat to represent St. Patrick West in the Legislative Council. He continued to serve on the Legislative Council until 1961. Butler even ran for federal elections in 1958 but was defeated by Hussein Shah. He then contested the La Brea seat in the general elections of 1961 but was unsuccessful. In 1970, Butler received Trinidad and Tobago's highest award, the Trinity Cross, for his contribution as a labor leader and reputation as a fighter for the people. He was regarded as the hero of the people. On June 19, 1972, the anniversary of the oilfield workers' riots of 1937 was declared an annual holiday by Act 19 of 1972 and is celebrated as Labor Day in Trinidad and Tobago. The Princess Margaret Highway was renamed the Uriah Butler Highway in his honor in 1988. Butler died on Sunday, February 20, 1977, and was given a state funeral and buried on February 24 at Faizabad. The history of